Hello everyone, Jules here. Today I'd like to show one of my favourite tarot decks. That is the Mystical Tarot. This was published by Scarabeo in 2017, 2 years ago, and the artist is Giuliano, Costa. And this was published 2 years before the pre-Raphaelite tarot that has been published this year, and I've just made a video very recently about the pre-Raphaelite tarot. So I wanted to show this deck because it's one of my favourite decks and it is by the same artist. So here's the box, and it has the Strength card on the back, published by Scarabeo. And the little white book is quite good. I quite like the meanings in the book. I think they have a general meaning for the cards and also a kind of intuitive message for each of the cards as well. So I really like that. Now just showing some of the cards that I like, that I really like. And the cardstock's very good. It's quite good for Scarabeo. Here are the card backs. So this is the better cardstock that Scarabeo has been doing in very recent years. And the reason why this is one of my favourite decks is because the artwork is really interesting and beautiful. And it's a kind of a fantasy deck, but it's also deep. And it's kind of got a bit of an esoteric feel. And it reads very well. It's one of my favourite reading decks. So here is the Magician card. What is a bit different about this deck as well, with the Major Arcana, instead of having the title for the Major Arcana cards, it has the symbol at the bottom for the Golden Dawn associations. So this being the Magician card, it has the Roman numerals at the top of the card. And then at the bottom of the card, there is the symbol from the Golden Dawn associations. So this card has the planet Mercury symbol at the bottom of the card. So you can probably see by this Magician card what the general feel of the deck is. It's a really interesting and different deck. So that's the Magician. The High Priestess. The cards are like a semi-matte finish. And this has the moon symbol at the bottom for the High Priestess card. So I see this deck as a more esoteric type of deck than the pre-Raphaelite tarot. Here is the Lover's card, and the symbol for Gemini is at the bottom of that card. The artwork is quite beautiful. There's a lot of symbolism in the card too, which I really like. Here is the Hermit card. At the bottom of the card it has the symbol for Virgo. It's quite a deep deck. There is the wheel, or the Wheel of Fortune, and it has the symbol for Jupiter, planet Jupiter, at the bottom of the card. And I like the borders. The borders on the sides of the vertical sides are quite thin, and then there is a gold border top and bottom. But the borders frame the cards very well, and they don't detract from the image at all. They seem to blend in with the colours really well. Here is the wheel, or Wheel of Fortune. This is a great death card. And I like the dark colouring of that card. These cards are really beautiful. They're even more beautiful than they are showing up here on camera. Great Devil card. And the sign of Capricorn is at the bottom of this card. This Devil card is quite like the traditional Marseille devil cards. That is a really good devil card. And I will just mention too, at the bottom of the death card has the sign of Scorpio. Now for the beautiful moon card, that's the sign of Pisces at the bottom of the card. And the Sun card has the symbol of the sun at the bottom. And it's interesting that there is not a baby or a child on the horse, on the white horse this time. And a beautiful Judgment card. And this has the planet Pluto at the bottom of the card. These are all according to the Golden Dawn associations, and I think this is a really beautiful Judgment card. I like the emphasis on the angel as well. Now for the minor arcana. It's the Wands suit. We've There's a dragon on here too for the fire element. Ace of Wands, and there is a symbol for the wands at the bottom of the card. I really like the green shoots on the wands to represent spring, season of spring. Beautiful Six of Wands. So it has the numeral at the top for the cards. Six of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Now for cups, Ace of Cups. Beautiful colours. And the Nine of Cups. This is one of my favourite Nine of Cups cards. Sometimes the Nine of Cups is presented in two different ways. Sometimes it's showing a person who looks like they have overindulged. But this one I like, it's got a more spiritual or philosophical feel. Because it is associated with the planet Jupiter, this card. So for me, this has a better reflection and a better idea associated with the Nine of Cups. And this is a really interesting Knight of Cups. There is a seahorse type of figure, even though it's on land, but it's representing a seahorse. So I really like that. I suppose you would kind of call this it's a fantasy deck, but it's esoteric fantasy. There's that blend. I really like it. It's very interesting. And there is a horse symbol at the top of the card to represent the knights. It's a very interesting deck. Now swords. Ace of Swords. There is a face on the hilt of the sword. Six of Swords, and this is a really unusual Six of Swords card. It's got this constellation feel, a celestial feel with the sky in the card, and there's a face on the back of the boat. It's just very different. So I think this deck being called the Mystical Tarot is a very appropriate name. It is a mystical deck. And I'm just realising here too, the celestial feel here. This is the planet Saturn. It's representing the planet Saturn there. And some of the symbols of these cards are very much the ideas of the artist and not necessarily always the traditional Golden Dawn ones. So Six of Swords and the Queen of Swords. I really like this card too. I love the faces in the cloud. It's a very interesting Queen of Swords card. Now for Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles, and I love the way in the cloud there is the Capricorn goat, Capricorn being an earth sign. So I really like that additional symbol. You usually don't see that for the Ace of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles. And if you're able to see in the cloud, there is the Capricorn symbol there again. And I do associate the sign of Capricorn with the Queen of Pentacles. So that's a really interesting Queen of Pentacles. So there's some of my cards, some of my favourite cards from one of my favourite decks, the Mystical Tarot by Giuliano, Costa, which is a great, really great deck, one of my favourites. And I wanted to show this deck because I have done my recent video about the Pre-Raphaelite Tarot, and I wanted to do a review of this deck as well because it's by the same artist and it's also one of my favourite decks. I'll put the details below the video. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.